Wow, what a journey. I'm so excited. We have come to the last week of our campaign, the Character, Ethics and Value campaign, the secret of the top 1%. And we're, concluding this week with the leadership principle, judgment. The whole essence of all the things we have looked at through the 40 weeks is for us to be able to, at every point in time, make good judgment. We want to be able to consider situations, people. Okay, so we have gained understanding of values and principles that will help us to make good judgment, okay, as cases may arise. So what is judgment? Judgment is the ability to make considered decision, okay, or come to a sensible conclusions. Either to come to a sensible conclusion or make what? Okay, considered decision. So it's the conclusions we reach, is the decision that we make after we have considered everything. We have considered the people, we have considered the situation, we have considered the circumstance, we have reviewed and gained insight and understanding to be able to make the right call. So it's about making the right call. Okay, one of the most appreciated characteristics of a leader is the ability to make good judgment, the ability to make what? Proper judgment. I must tell you that good judgment is not a quality that you gain and maintain. Rather, it is based on insight you get, on a situation by situation basis, on person by person basis, on a daily basis. So it's a judgment on a case by case basis. So it's not something that I say that I have these characteristics, I will maintain it. The situation differs, our lives is dynamic, the marketplace is dynamic, things change from time to time. So our ability to consider each situation that they come and may be able to make the right decision and come to the right conclusion is a very cherished characteristic of a leader. Why is this important? The first reason that this good judgment is important is that where we are right now is a product of our judgment in the past. The judgment, the decisions you made in the past, the decision I made in the past is responsible for where I am today. Okay, and today's judgment, today's decision is going to determine my future, is going to determine your future. So that's the reason why this is very important. In addition to this, leadership is being able to lead people through situations that are different, that are changes, that are not the same all the time, because the life is dynamic, the marketplace is dynamic. So you're able to lead people through this changing situation, keeping them focused on the desired end result. And this will require good judgment. Otherwise, problems will turn to disaster without good judgment. So let's look at some of the attributes of good judgment so that you can be able to consider them, okay, and be able to, from time to time, make good judgment. The first one is that take your decision, yourself, out of the decision. The first thing you must do, the first attribute of good judgment is that you must be able to take yourself. You will agree with me that one of the things that make for a good leader is, the ability, your skill, okay, and your humility to be able to take yourself out of the situation. Why? Because it's not about you. It's not about the people that is being led. So good leaders must be honest with themselves and have no hidden personal agenda. Very important. Once there is personal agenda, once there is personal interest, what happens? You are not possibly going to make good judgment. So right judgment can be made only when we can see into the heart of the problem without our personal interest, without our personal feeling being involved. So your ability to take yourself out is the ability to take your own agenda, your own personal interest, your own personal feelings out. Jesus gave us a good example. Jesus was somebody of an astounding, good judgment. At every point in time, he made good judgment. And what was responsible for that? He was able to completely take himself out of the situation. Look at what Jesus said, in his word. He says, I can of my own self do nothing. I can't do not something on my own. I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge. And my judgment is what? Is just. He says, my judgment is just. Why? Because I seek not my own will. So Jesus was able to make sound, just judgment. All my judgment is right because I'm not doing it on my own. I don't consider my interest. I don't consider my agenda. I don't consider my feelings. I can of my own do nothing. As I hear, I judge. And my judgment is just because what? Why? I seek not my own will. So the moment you are able to take yourself out of the equation, very likely you are able to make good judgment. The second attribute of good judgment is that The judgment that benefits others is better than the judgment, okay, that benefits the one that benefits you. So again, this is related to, okay, the first one. So your decision you are making, whose benefit is it? Okay, the one that benefits other people is a better judgment. The judgment or the decision that benefits more people also is usually a better judgment than the one that benefits fewer people. So the decision that benefits a large number of people is better than the one that benefits fewer number of people. So when you are making a decision, the question is how many people does the options benefit? The one that benefits more people is more likely to be the better judgment. Okay, Paul was a good example in the Bible. Paul said, I'm caught in between two opinions, whether to die and go and be with the Lord, or to remain alive, okay, for the benefit of the people. He says, if I die and go and be with the Lord, that is for my own personal benefit. But if I choose to become alive, and begin to continue with my ministry, I will be of benefit, more benefit to the people. And he felt that, okay, the one that is, okay, is better for him is selfish, okay, and the one that is selfless is a better decision. So decisions and judgment that are selfless are far, far better judgment than the one that are selfish. The third attribute of good judgment is that you need to be able to take people out of the situation. So the question should not be about who, it should be about what. Okay? Leaders must be more concerned about what is right than who is right. So it's not a question of who. You need to be able to take yourself out, you need to be able to take your interests out, you need to be able to take people out as much as possible and look at the situation. So it's about what is right and not what is. Why is it so? The first few attributes of good judgment that involve people are always, not always easy. Why? Because with every situation, there are people and personalities involved. People are involved, personalities are involved. Most of the problems that we face, we are trying to, solve are people's problem. They involve emotion, they involve temper. Some tempers are hot. Some tempers are, low. Some are smooth talkers. So you find out that everyone is trying on their own, okay, to tell their own story, okay, because nobody wants to take the blame. So you need to be able to take people out and not look at who is right, but what is right. Okay? So the fourth attribute of good judgment. Good judgment comes from taking the time to hear both parties or all parties involved. Then, this is very important. You need to be able to, talk to all the parties involved. Don't hear from one and decide. You need to be able to talk to two parties involved and sort through all the information until you get a sense that of the truth of the situation. Once we begin to get a sense of the truth of the situation, you need them in a position to make good judgment. Any story sounds good until you hear from the other side. So everyone will say a good story until you hear the other party. Problems are usually covered by small screen. So if we don't listen carefully, we can make quick judgment and blame the wrong people, and that can lead to disaster. So it's very important that you talk to all the parties involved if you are going to make good judgment. The fifth attribute you must look at to make good judgment is that get the perspective of others. I cannot emphasize this. Get the perspective of others. The more the perspective that we get, the better the judgment. The more perspective of others we get, the better the judgment. So are you at a crossroad? Are you about to make a bigger decision? Reach out to as many people as possible and get their perspective. Therefore, do not be too proud to ask for people's opinion. Very important. Don't be too proud to ask for other people's opinion. The wise king, King Solomon, said, where no counsel is, what happened? People fail. Okay? They fall. But in the multitude of counsel, there's safety. So there's safety in getting perspective from a lot of people. He also said, without counsel, purposes are disappointed. But in the multitude of counsels, purposes are what? Are established. So if you want to establish purpose, get perspective from a lot of people. I remember when I used to work in one of the multinational oil companies as a technology planner. I was planning technology for them. So I was responsible for adopting new technology. So you know that technology changes all the time. So what do I do every time I want to evaluate a technology that I know very little about? For me to be able to make sound judgment, what do? I seek proposals from a lot of vendors. So by the time I study all the proposals, I even gain better understanding than the individual vendors, and that helped me, okay, to make the right decision on which technology we can adopt and which is not, we cannot adopt. So you need to be able to take perspective from a lot of people to be able to make sound judgment. Okay. 6, first judge yourself before you judge others. The next, you need to attribute you need to look about good judgment is that you must always first judge yourself before you judge others. In order to make the right judgment, we must first judge ourselves. Why is it so? Why must we first judge ourselves? Because we tend to judge others according to our own perception. So you must judge your perception, whether they are right or not. We usually see in others what we are ourselves. We see who we are in others. The things you see in others is actually who you are. So we have greed, we have dishonesty, we have manipulation, we have defensiveness in us. So we will think of others to be the same, and we judge them accordingly. So that's why you need to judge yourself. You need to judge your perception. You need to judge whether there's greed in you, whether there's dishonesty in you, whether there's manipulation in you, whether there's defensiveness in you, because that is the way who you are is the way you judge others. So you need to judge yourself first and be sure that you're in the right position to judge others. Okay. 7, acknowledge the mistake and error and don't dwell on them. Very important. Okay, so when you acknowledge the mistake after you have considered everything, what do? Where applicable, apply chastisement, forgive and set the rule for the future. Always seek a way forward. Very important. Dwelling on and blaming people for mistake, stunt their present growth. It stunts their what? Their present goal. Why? Because they are being held captive to the past and their future is always taken away. So when, there are mistakes and you want to make judgment, where the chastisement is necessary, apply it, forgive, and set the rule and look for a way forward. Right judgment, can be on the personal level in our lives and business. We need to make right judgment. In our personal level, we always need to make right judgment. Right judgment is a value that is needed every day in every area of our lives. What are the benefits as I close? Okay, what are the benefits of good judgment? First, people will have confidence in you. If you have a reputation of judging things honestly, they will do what? They will have confidence in you. Others also will be honest with you. Why? This is a cycle that repeats itself all the time. Because, they find you as a man of a good judgment, people will confide in you, people will be honest with you, making it easy to get, to the truth, as people feel safe enough and transparent, as a result of your example, because they know that you are a person of good judgment, 3, we will avoid impulse business decision and life decision and costly mistake by practicing good judgment. As I close, all right, I need to, make sure that we understand this. In conclusion, good judgment is often learned from past mistakes. So from your mistakes, you should learn judgment. I tell people, wrong decision can be better than indecision. So be free to take action, be free based on your considered opinion, take a position. Even if you make a mistake, learn from it. The reason that, wrong decision can be better than indecision is that if you have formed the ability to be able to take decision, you will realize that wrong decision is wrong and you take a better decision again. So good judgment is often learned from past mistakes. Use your stumbling block as a stepping stone, for a better future. I hope this was useful. I hope you find this important. We are ending this campaign this week, and watch out for the things that are coming after this. If you find this valuable, please, I want you to leave your comments. I want you to like this. I want you to share within your network, and I'm sure, very soon you will learn. We'll announce what will come after this campaign. I want to encourage you, don't stop learning, don't stop, developing yourself. The only way you can reach your potential is to commit to continuous personal development, and I will see you at the top. Thank you and have a great day.